Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. This is Kelly Weiler here at Girl Upcycled Studio, and I'm also the owner of an amazing art club called the Creators Club, which is actually open right now to new members. So I thought I would come live and just kind of show you a little bit of the intuitive art process. This is one that I started in the group this month, would have been the first Tuesday of the month, so a couple weeks ago. And I have all these layers on it so far, and a couple of things I did kind of see that I could have maybe worked with. So I think I want to keep going, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Hi, Raquel. Raquel just entered the group. We are so glad you're back in, girl. So glad. Um, so let me just do a really quick shout out to all of the new members and returning members that are coming back into the club. I'm so happy to see all your faces. And if you are one that um, joined the club and you're having trouble finding the group, please let me know, because I have several of you floating around out there that we need to get inside the group. When you purchase the membership, you should have a link that you follow that takes you right to the private group. If for some reason you don't find that, please let me know, okay? Hi, Patience and Lonnie. How are you? I'm ready for this, guys. So I am going to start with some pastels, just oil pastels, and just kind of like get my body in motion, guys. So these are the oil pastels that I'm using. These are a little bit pricey. You can get the cheaper ones just at Hobby Lobby or anything like that. I just thought I would try these, and these are a little bit different than the other pastels. That these are water soluble, so when I add water to them, they're going to blend and they're going to move. So that's the difference between um, the regular oil pastels that I'm used to using versus these are the water soluble oil pastels. So pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just loosen up a little bit. You have those too. What's your favorite thing about them? So when I come to a dry canvas, and you guys, I got this from Betty Franks, and I love this exercise because it's really just meant to get your body in motion. I always explain to my members, like, it's kind of like when you warm up before exercising, or you stretch, right? You're going to get your body in motion, and that's what this is for. But also, the cool thing that happens is all of those little marks, mark making, all of those little marks that you put into the background just kind of like it just gives your painting so much more depth. I love it. And I also, hi Lori, how are you? I love it. And I also, so let's say I'm coming on here. Let's say I'm going to come in here and I know that I'm going to do like, I don't know, let's just say I'm going to do a bouquet of roses, okay? So even though I knowingly am coming in knowing that that's what my finished product will look like, I like to still do these yummy layers underneath, because you're going to give your painting a little bit of history, and it gives it a story. It gives it some mystery um, to it. You know what I mean? Let me know if you're not sure about that. You can write words if you want. So right now, I'm going to write gratitude, because I've been so thankful seeing all the members, the new members come in. It's been such a joy. So I'm so grateful And I'm also so excited. And I'm excited to create with all the new members. So what I did as I was talking to all of you, and I was saying how I had gratitude and grateful, and I'm excited, and I'm excited to create. So I just wrote those words down. So you can, hi Bobby, you can use this as a bit of, I would call it art therapy, really. So no matter what kind of day you're having, try to come to the canvas and just let some stuff out, you know? So this was one that I had already started, and I was going to talk to you about it before I started scribbling. Totally forgot. But where I stopped right here, if you can see this shadow of a shape right here, that almost reminded me of a dog howling at the moon. So if I wanted to keep that, do you guys see that? I'll get out of the way. And hopefully you can see it. Move so the shadow's not there. Let me move my light over a little bit so it's not casting a shadow. Hi Holly, how are you? I haven't seen you in just a minute at least. Can you guys see what I'm saying? This shape right here totally could have been turned into a dog sitting, howling, and then this was the moon. So that's kind of what intuitive art is. You have a lot of ability or chances, I guess, to play around. So if I wanted to, I could totally work on that and build my entire composition off of what I'm seeing if I wanted to. Now, something else that I talk about with the intuitive art is, you know, even though that's there and I could totally make that happen and turn it into probably a pretty cool painting, my heart wasn't into it. I wasn't feeling it. And I mean, I liked it, okay, but did I love it? No. So it's kind of like cleaning out your closet. So you like something, why am I keeping it? It's not like I'm ever going to wear it. Get rid of it, right? So it's that whole mentality of conditioning yourself, or what's the other word I want to say? Conditioning is a pretty good word, but you are teaching yourself to let these things go. It was fun while it happened and it was exciting, but do I want to live with it forever? I don't think so. So I'm going to keep going. So that's when I came in and I was doing my little mark making. And like I said, if you've not looked up Betty Franks, she is the one that really, she turned me on to, I did a little bit of it, but not as much as what she was doing. And I just thought I thought I would try it. And so what she does, so what I used to do was I would maybe do mark making when I first started, but I didn't do it every time I would come to a dry canvas. So every time she comes to that dry canvas, she does some mark making on her pieces. So I thought, man, that's a cool concept. And so I wanted to give her a little shout out too, because she's such a fun artist to watch. And she's also the one that turned me on to Nova paints, which is really beautiful paint. It's acrylic paint. I use Golden, I use Master's Touch and Nova, as well as the clay-based paints. So, and it all meshes well together, but the Nova paints are really fun. Any questions about this so far? Again, the Creators Club is open right now. It's only open for a short time. So if you have questions, now's your time. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is think about my next move and like, do I want to add color? Do I want to, I don't know, let's see what happens if I just I hit this with, I hit some of this with water. It's kind of cool, kind of smushes. Really brings it out when you hit it with the water, doesn't it? So think about it. You may not want your pastels to move on you, so you want to make sure that if you are not wanting your pastels to move, make sure that it's oil and not water soluble. So I didn't realize I was getting the water soluble when I did. I mean, I'm glad I did. It's been a lot of fun. And so I feel as though right now some of this darker color is kind of giving some nice contrast, isn't it? And it is. It's just kind of a scribbling mess right now. And that's kind of what we do. We kind of work through things. We make some chaos, and then we learn how to um, find some things that we like, and then we turn it into a cohesive kind of a story when it's all done. And I have little tips to help you through all of that. So right now, I think I want to do some more marks with some of these. I use these all the time. These are just, I don't know where, probably Hobby Lobby. They're really just a cheap, but they're really, you can hear how strong they are. I use it all the time. So I think I want to use this kind of arrow kind of a look, and I think I want to go a little bit darker for right now. Let's see. And I do have black gesso that I use from Nova, but this is just the Master's Touch. The one thing about the Nova paints are the containers. I need to move the containers into squirt bottles. So that is the one thing that I need to do with that. Okay, so I've got my black over here. Dare I put that on my computer? We should not be doing that. Let's see. And let's see. I'm not being like super precise. Hey, Christy, how are you? Haven't seen you in a minute either. Hope you're doing well. So notice I'm kind of fading it out as I go. This is just more history that we're putting into the painting, okay? A little bit of history here. I'm giving it a story. If you've not painted this way, hi Roxanne, how are you? If you have not painted this way, I highly suggest trying it. It's a lot of fun, and it just I feel better already. I've been working with the group, getting all the businessy stuff, so I've been working on the computer. for a number of days prepping for it, and so my head really needed this little vacation. And I'm not even thinking anything right now. I'm not thinking about what it's going to be. I'm not thinking about my next move yet. I'm just putting this texture on here and letting things kind of happen. No rhyme or reason. And y'all know me, if you've been watching me for very long, I love dots and circles, so I'm sure I'm going to put some little circles on here. You will notice when you start painting, like the intuitive process, you'll notice that you do things over and over again. That is what is going to give your artwork a cohesive look. So even though maybe you're painting animals one day, landscape the next day, figurative the next day, you will notice a common ground in all of those paintings. That is what I refer to as your artistic fingerprint, you guys. Those things that you notice that you do over and over and over again, and everybody's like, wait, but I don't have that. I don't do that. Yes, you do. And that is why I like my members to go to the canvas with intuitive sessions, because that's when you're going to learn. Like me, I like making the scribbles. I like using the circles and the dots. And what else? I use a lot of turquoise. I almost always have something turquoise in my pieces, even if it's the smallest amount. I like different shades of blues. But you will notice once you start doing the intuitive process, you'll start recognizing, like, oh, I did this on my last one. Oh, I did this on my last 5. That's where I want you to start pushing into that. You're going to push into it rather than pull back. And a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with it because they say, well, wait, but that's not like the instructors. That's not like so-and-so who I admire. It's not going to be, nor do you want it to be, right? You want your stamp to be your own, right? Your own fingerprint, your own stamp. That's what's going to pull your art aside from the masses that all look the same, right? So the splatter and chatter classes for beginners, they all pretty much are set up in the same, and that's fine for beginners. But as you grow out of that, you need to push into your own groove, so to speak, if that makes sense. Hello, Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is, but hello to you. Oh, and I forgot, I'm going to run this little, let me just put this banner maybe right there. There we go. We'll put that up for a minute just so people know how to find the Creators Club. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to keep pushing forward, and I want to put some dots in here because I want to. That's just why, and it's just such a freeing thing. It's almost at this stage of the game. I mean, I have my first layer on it, but it's very much kind of childlike play, and that's something that you've been taught to forget that. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. We have been taught to color inside the lines. Don't make a mess. Don't allow a drip. Everything has to be perfectly set up. And like when you get done with the painting, yes, do you want it to be have a nice composition? Yes. Do you want it to tell a story? Do you want to tone down the chaos? Yes. But right here on this level, we are still at that stage where we are playing. You have permission to play. You are to be in adventure mode. This is where you have permission to like try stuff. Like, what would happen? What would happen if I just took this brayer and like, I don't know, just started throwing something on there, right? What would happen? What would happen if I run it through the black now? And oh, I guess my black's gone. And I run it over something else. What pattern is that going to make? How's that making you feel? So you're really just in the moment right now with your brayer. You're not thinking ahead, you're not thinking behind. We're just in this moment right now, okay? While we're creating. Like that little circle right there. And this is a very, very uncomfortable process for some people. I mean, it's even for me, who I do this all the time. I paint like this all the time. But it's vulnerable because I don't know what's going to happen here, and I have all of you watching, and so you're very vulnerable. You're vulnerable of people that tune in to watch you that maybe haven't met you before. You haven't met me before. You're looking at this going, oh my gosh, what is that crazy girl doing, right? You know, but it's pushing past that and knowing that you know what you're doing. You know that you are on this playful adventure right now, and you're not worrying about what somebody walking by is thinking as they peek in. You know, I've been at fairs painting before, and people just kind of look and have this look on their face, walk by. They come back an hour or whatever, hour and a half later, and they're like, oh my gosh, is that the same painting? You know, that's where artists get really, really hung up. And it is. I'm not even gonna lie, it's hard to get past that. But you know, that person's thought at that moment does not make you less of an artist, because they're not an artist at that point. They could be if they wanted to be, if they put the time in, but they're not an artist. So their thought is not going, that don't let that affect you. It should have no effect on your process. Does that make sense, you guys? Do you have any questions about this? Have you tried this yourself? And if so, what were you feeling when you were at the easel painting this way? Did you love it? Was it scary? Or maybe you haven't tried it yet. I'd love for you to give it a try. Okay, so I think, I don't know why this like color, I never use this color, but for some reason my eyeballs keep going to this. Look at that, it's like bubblegum pink. I never use this. But listen, I'm grabbing this because I kept going to it. And that is when you are kind of listening to, I always call it like a little God whisper. You get that little nudge to like, try it, grab that. And I'm fighting it inside. I'm like, yeah, that's not, I don't use bubblegum pink. I mean, it's okay. It's hot pink. I hardly ever do that. But you know what? I'm going to throw it on here. I don't know what's going to happen. It could be a hot mess, but it's okay. Bobby says, I see a person with pink hair on the right. So So it's got to be this. Oh, and is this the eye? Does anybody else see anything? Heck, putting makeup on feels like this. Holly, you're cracking me up, girl. You're beautiful. You're so like, yeah. And your hair. I know you've had like colors. Yeah. Hi, Pammy. All right, so I just need to figure out like what do I want to do with this, okay? So I got this hot pink stuff. What do I want to do with this stuff? I have no clue. The heck, I'm just gonna grab this. These are, you guys, something else. You know, there's so many pretentious painters out there. You know what I mean? You can paint with anything. This is just like the stuff kids use right here. I have all kinds of stuff that I use. I have nice brushes. I have really nice paints. I have really nice paint knives. But I also have this stuff too. No lower, she says. Down here. If you see something, let me know. Get quiet here for a second while I try to figure this out. Okay. Let's just, I don't know, I'm gonna just. I'm just kind of curling my brush as I go along. And that felt pretty good. So I think I'll do it some more. So it's really just plain. I mean, I can't deny, I mean, it does, the pink does look kind of cool against the, you know, all the stuff there. Over top of my coyote or whatever that could have been. And I don't have any plan right now as far as, you know, subject matter. I mean, that's something I'll figure out later as things evolve. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of like this little, like going on a journey. You don't quite know where you're going. This is very much not my normal. It's very much not my normal kind of thing here. Right below bubble gum, you just put on. Oops. Anybody else see anything? Oh, I see a little woman. She has a hat on her head. Where at, guys? So far, my favorite part is right here. So far. That almost looks like a kind of like a cool flower, doesn't it? Let's see. Should I keep going with the pink? Are y'all liking the pink? So not my regular. It's not my regular jam, I have to say, but I'm not hating it. blooms like a plant. Hi, T. Hi, Marlene. I see some ladies that just joined the group that are in here. Awesome. Are y'all ready to have some fun? Hey, by the way, those of you that just joined, you are eligible to come to the retreat in October. If any of you are wanting to do that, you have to be a member. I'm liking the swirlies. I'm not real. Not my normal. Interesting. Okay. What retreat? So the Creators Club for my private group, my private membership group. We are doing a live art retreat. It is the first weekend in October. We have some fun things planned. We're going to go on the gallery hop in our town. So that'll be Friday night is the gallery hop, Saturday's all day workshop, and then we'll do the intuitive art process. And we'll provide food for that day for lunch. And then in the evening, we'll have a little bonfire down by the river and do like a little closing ceremony. And then Sunday, anybody that wants to do brunch on Sunday. Now, the only day that your ticket is paid for, that pays for, would be your workshop day. On Saturday would be Saturday during the day. It pays for your workshop and for the food during the workshop. So, right below the big pink, she looks like she's wearing a hat like I did in the marching band. Oh, wait a minute. Below the big pink, so below this. Oh my gosh, it kind of does. Two white bumps look like her boobs. Oh, that's so funny. Hello, Mary, coming in from Arizona. So happy to have you here. She's over on, I'm streaming this on my YouTube channel, guys. Well, I really enjoy YouTube. Can I just tell you? I'm trying to be better about getting my stuff up there. Okay, so I'm really liking this so far. I mean, even though it's not my normal, but it is, I'm having fun with it. And I was a little nervous coming live. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think it's normal, because you don't know, like, everybody worries about, oh, what if I don't know what to paint? Well, that's why you get your body in motion, because I didn't know what I was going to paint. Doesn't make sense to me yet? No, doesn't. But I'm enjoying the process of it, and I'm making a lot of new brush strokes that I don't normally do these long kind of strokes. So it's kind of fun to, I don't know, do some new things. Adding some white. Why? Just what I went for. Hi, Deborah. abstract so far. Like I said, it may not. A lot of times, you guys, this ends up being something completely different. If you see anything that's recognizable, let me know. What this does too, you guys, because I get a lot of people that get into the club and they are so tight. They're so precise and tight on their painting. And if you notice, I'm just painting. I'm not thinking about it. I'm painting really loosely. I mean, even though I'm kind of following a pattern here, I'm still just loosely painting. My spray bottle. Let me find that real quick. 1 minute. Oh, goodness sakes. Here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Lost my water. It's kind of drying out on me. Thank you. I'm so glad you streamed on YouTube, so I knew you were opening the Creators Club again. I'm so glad too. I'm so glad you're here. This is the continual sprayer. These are kind of cool because you don't have to like keep pumping the sprayer. These are good for large canvases, or those of you that I know I have a lot of furniture painters that follow me. So this is good for those of you that do bigger things. Just kind of softening things out right here. The intuitive process also, you could be on a painting for weeks. I mean, that's not unheard of. Or days, you know, whatever. My point is you don't always go into it. It's not like a one and done, like the paint and sip kind of style classes where one and done, right? I think that, you know, there's a time and place for that, the one and done type stuff. But I think that if you're wanting to really hone in, on your specific style of painting, you have to really show up and practice. And it's almost like you are experimenting and you're studying different marks and different movements and different color combinations. And, you know, you have to put your time in. I know so many people that start off painting and they don't want to put the time in, but they want to be like, you know, I want to be an artist and show in museums. And you know, you guys, you have to show up. You have to show up and do the work and put your time in and get your techniques down and figure out color theory, what colors mix together and what colors don't. all of that's part of educating yourself. And then once you get that under your belt and then you start to know the techniques, the technical part of painting, that's when you can kind of start approaching galleries or charging more for your art. That's where your art will go from like a paint and sip step by step to like, wow, this is really, this has movement, this has composition, this has layers and depth and history to it and moodiness. But that's how you do that. You have to show up on the canvas on a regular basis. Okay, let's see what everybody's saying. I love that you all are talking to me tonight. I love that. Okay, Sheila. Oh, thank you. She says good words of advice. Thank you, Sheila. Mary says, I see a dragonfly. Where? That would be cool. I mean, I think that with the intuitive art process, you don't necessarily have to complete it to recognizable, subject matter. Sometimes when you have things left in an abstract manner, it's like it's in the eye of the beholder. So somebody says they're seeing a dragonfly. Somebody else says it could be a flamingo. Oh, it could be a flamingo right here. Oh yeah, totally. Totally. And I actually have some, maybe that's why I keep going towards pinky colors here lately. I've been thinking about for the upcoming year, I'm going to be working on some different things that I don't normally do. So maybe that's why I'm already kind of leaning in towards that. And it really is, it's true what they say about letting go. Um, rather than like me saying, you know what, I don't really do that bubblegum pinky stuff too much, but leaning into it, like, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to learn something fabulous from it. It's the pink paint shaped like a dragonfly. Oh, I see it right here. It does look like a dragonfly. How cool is that? Yep. And then like you could totally go on that. This still looks like a flower to me. So like I could totally turn that into a flower. Maybe I'll do that while y'all are watching. Mary says she loves all the colors. Thank you, Mary. Do you guys see that? Or that's kind of like a flower. You know what I think would be cool is like a yellow kind of a tone. So I'm going to do a yellow ochre. So funny, I'm using some colors that I don't normally. One thing too, like I know there's a lot of, chaos in it right now. But that's something that we work on inside the club too, is taking your painting when it's in a state of chaos and figuring out a composition for it and toning everything down a little bit. I kind of help you through things like that. So let's see. All right, I think I need a bigger brush. I've got all my stuff flopped all around right now. Oh, maybe this brush will work. I really want my other one. Hold on one second. Here it is. If y'all don't have this brush, it's wonderful. This is the mop brush, the Pro Iris. It's Dion's line. Really like this. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to take some yellow ochre, and we are going to just back here. Let's see. So we're just kind of doing a little bit of this negative painting. Boy, that yellow just kind of makes it pop, huh? Doesn't it? And so I'm just kind of going around. And that's going to make it look like maybe there's some sun shining back behind it, possibly. And I can tone it down a little bit. I know it's a little bright right now, but this is kind of how, this was my process and how it kind of helps me to see things a little bit better by outlining it a little bit. I think that's been my favorite part of the whole thing so far. And you can paint your sides if you choose. Totally up to you. Not decided if I'm gonna keep this or let it go. So I'm just going to go around it for right now. So you have time to think about some of this stuff. You don't have to make all your decisions. At this point in the game is where I start to pick out like different things that I like. So I know I like that. That kind of would be kind of cool to turn that into a flamingo. I don't know if that would be, get that to happen. I don't know. So there's that. Or brush, I'm just treating it terrible. A flower with a flamingo. Yeah. Why not? Okay. So that's kind of a simple little way of showing you guys, I guess, a little bit of the process, right? What's your favorite part of it? Let me see. I've been on here about 45 minutes. Definitely have a lot of work to do. Let's flip it around a little bit. Looks like it's dripping a little bit, so I'm going to just go with that. Let's go with that and drip it. That's how that works. I do love a good drip. That is something that I found out painting this way is how much I love just the fluid, the look of fluidity, if that makes sense. I love that. I just think it gives it almost. So a lot of times on my paintings, even if it's something that is very cohesive, and let me show you this one real quick. No, I still don't have her eyes done. This is one that I've had for a while and I just love her. But see the background and see the wings of the owl. Look at all the drips. Yummy, yummy drips. Even though when I pull back, you can see a very recognizable subject matter here, and shapes, and everything is recognizable. But those underlayers, because some of this wing really is part of that, just a lot of that underlayer that I just allowed to remain pretty visible. But then I have some areas here that are pretty refined and tidied up a little bit, right? So like her dress and her hair and the flowers in her hair. Her face has detail, well, except for her eyes. But that gives you kind of a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about, because I know it's a lot, and I don't expect you guys that are, especially if you're tuning in for the very first time and this process is new to you, it's very overwhelming and very confusing at first. And some people have come in and they struggled the first couple times with it. But then once it clicks, it's like, oh, it's like, oh my gosh, this just happened, and this just happened, and then this happened, so it's so cool to work with a group of ladies like I do inside the Creators Club, and see the light go on. And mind you, there are step-by-step classes that you can do, and we do watercolor class. I mean, I do a ton of variation of classes, but the one thing that I'm consistent with is once a month, I want you on intuitive art. And I often tell the ladies, have this intuitive piece setting in your studio. And when you come, no matter if you're doing a step-by-step or working on something, be free and do whatever you need to do on your intuitive piece. And that helps train them to loosen up and to listen to those little prompts, those little God whispers, and gets them prepared for whatever they're doing, as far as maybe they're working on another painting. Maybe they're like on the finishing touches and all those little nitty gritty details. So it's so beneficial in so many ways. So I'm kind of a stickler about once a month we do intuitive, and sometimes, like, comes a train. Sometimes, like this one, if it's not done, my next intuitive class, I may just be continuing on, and we're all continuing on our next layer and working through the bumps and layers and experimenting and all those things. So, okay, guys, any questions? The doors right now are open as of today. And today is September the 15th, because I know those of you that are on YouTube might be watching this after the doors close. So if the doors are closed, you can always get on the email list and for when the next opening is. So, but we have a lot of fun in there. I know that some of the upcoming classes, I know one will be we'll be doing a fall door. We've been doing door fronts. So we did the winter, we did a spring. Wait a minute. No, we did a spring and a summer. I think we did a spring and a summer, and now we're going to do a fall door. So that'll be on the menu, the paint menu, at some point here very soon. But we always, I kind of cater to the members in there, so whatever they want to work on, that's what we do, because that is their membership. All right. I do not see any other questions. So anyway, you can go to girlupcycledstudio.com, and you're going to go to the Creators Club page on there, and you can learn more about it there. There's no long-term contracts that you sign. I'm not going to hold you hostage in there or anything. My hope is that you come in and it's a very peaceful, um, creative setting, very safe setting. The ladies are wonderful, and we do a ton of subject matter in there, you guys. Mixed media, watercolor, acrylics, furniture painting, you name it, we do it. So, in all levels. So please don't feel like it's not for you, because I have something for every level. Okay. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to close it up. It sounds like the music's starting next door. So I'm going to get off of here, and I will see all of you inside the Creators Club soon. All right. Bye, everyone. And thank you so much for hanging out.